Hello my fellow homo sapiens. You can now join my channel as a member to get exclusive perks like early access to videos, private community posts, and more. You can also now use super features for priority response from me. I also have a Patreon page that I put extra content on, including reactions, sins, Reddit stories, and more. If you want to fly yourself even deeper into the endless void of internet content, I've got you covered.
If you ain't ready to get popped, take your dope ass home. We do not give a fuck, it's a no wax on. Get the fuck up, get the fuck up, get the fuck up, get the fuck up. Now lean back in your seat, let the beat slap and say sheesh. We're gonna blow your mind with every single rhyme, you're gonna have to get on your feet. Now get up on and flow with me, you made your bed, now fold the sheets. The door is locked, the only key, I don't like you, so I say shit.
Yo, I made a phrase and they claimed that I came from the mud. I was raised in the basement. Amazed at these lames and the things they be saying. They reppin' the streets that I'm lay on the pavement. I'm on some NWA shit. I go in the label and jump on the table. Say, run me my payment. I'm nothing to play with. Put me on the plate. It's around about to break shit. Mask off, blast off. I reppin' that facts off. Sacks off. I put on the gas, make it cash. You niggas broke, take the cast off. I'm the type of cat that might get mad if you been talking trash. I let a track off. Scrape your face on the asphalt. Got your lady playing with my thingy in the tub while I pour the bath off.
Watching Pharaoh Bender steal power on Osiris 4 and thinking, yeah, we should rule exactly like him when we take over.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture ref.
Yeah, claiming people will receive a fair trial while dragging a body with at least 17 knives stuck in it really screams due process.
Yes, you understood the scene. Great job. How is that a sin though? You just said, I agree with what the show is saying. Therefore, the show made a mistake.
Did it make you feel better?
I'm sure nobody was happy about making such a terrible decision, but put desperate people in a situation where they have to do awful things to get the bare necessities of life, and don't be surprised when they do those things. They didn't sell out their friends for a flat screen TV. Food and medicine are vital.
Again, that's the point, genius. Kathleen is a villain because she ignores that fact. You are sinning something you agree with for the second time in a row.
You're informers. Inform.
While I do hate to side with the Midwestern despot here, I've got to admit their hesitation doesn't make sense. There are some humans that could stand on principle even at the cost of their life, but in a room this size, there would be at least one person with a hand immediately in the air begging to give up any and all info.
Except the episode shows you that's not the case with this group of people. I mean, the fact that they're in a group in the first place is part of the reason they're all so hesitant. Interrogators in the real world most often split people up so that they'll break easier. It's much more likely for a group of people to stand strong for at least a little while than for an individual to stand strong.
Kill them.
Damn. Melanie Linsky's come a long way from sneaking into Charlie Sheen's bedroom. Though, I guess after 12 seasons of 2.5 Men, I might be driven to insanity enough to attempt to build an authoritarian regime as well.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture.
These two are great. They'll make an excellent permanent addition to the cast. But grabbing a bag of crayons and a gun with no ammo in it doesn't say a lot for Henry's ability to prioritize.
This is another joke where Discount Jeremy says something that he knows isn't true and expects it to be funny. It's even dumber this time because he also forgets that characterization is a thing, so I feel plenty justified in sinning this.
I-beams. Who dreams of having superpowers and starts with f***ing I-beams?
Pointing things out on the screen. Who dreams of having a YouTube channel and settles for pointing things out on the screen?
I want to poke holes in Henry's plan, but personally, if I had 11 days worth of food, I'd have spent it getting 11 days away from this shit.
But that's exactly the point. If he had tried to get away, both him and Sam would have been caught and killed. Remember, Henry only had 11 days worth of food. He had no ammunition or other supplies, and the entire garrison of the city was looking for him. He didn't stand a chance until he found Joel and Ellie.
Painting in an unventilated attic.
Pointing things out on the screen.
I understand this is a sweet gesture and a confidence booster, but how confident is Henry that that paint is safe for using on skin?
Very confident, seeing as he used it on their skin, implying that he already knew it was safe to use. Why are you asking questions that the events in the show are answering? Oh, it's because the show didn't outright state it and you're not smart enough to pick up on implications.
We didn't hurt you, so you don't hurt us, right?
That's right.
It's a weird f***ing tone, man.
That's just the way he sounds. He has an asshole voice. Joe, tell him he's okay.
Everything's great.
Dude.
I love everything about this. Joel and Ellie are great together, but adding Henry and Sam to this dynamic? Chef's kiss. I'm just glad this isn't some cruel game by the show to completely destroy us by the end of the episode.
Discount Jeremy sins something he likes, cliche.
We didn't hurt you, so you don't hurt us, right?
pointing a gun at someone and not admitting it might cause emotional or psychological harm.
I mean, I know that the TVSins writers must be smart enough to understand that they were only referring to physical harm here, seeing as that's the more pressing issue at the moment, but the fact that they write sins purposefully pretending to be stupid is weird considering there was no attempt at a joke here. Like, I would have been fine with you pretending to be dumb for the sake of a joke, but there wasn't one, so this is clearly just padding the sin count.
It's a weird tone, man.
Tone policing the man you're holding at gunpoint.
Aaron, if you were actually policing anything, Joel would already be dead.
Dude.
As much as I love this scene and Ellie, I think she's maybe being a bit too chill here while being held at gunpoint. Who's her dad, season 4 Walter White?
Okay, what do you want her to do? In this scene, she's frantically trying to get Joel to reassure the people holding them at gunpoint. I don't understand what you're complaining about.
Where'd you get these?
From Bill. He's dead.
I thought Joel was the awkward one. Hey Ellie, nice sweater. Where'd you get it? From my Nana. She has dementia.
Two things here. First, I work at a summer camp as a counselor right now, and I can assure you that kids would absolutely be this blunt. One kid, not naming any names of course, straight up told us that he was adopted because his parents did a lot of drugs. Kids don't beat around the bush, they're direct. Second, are you honestly expecting a child who was raised in an apocalypse to have fantastic social skills and awareness? Come on, man.
You noticed anything strange about the city?
No infected?
The city or the series? Just wait, that joke will kill in about 4 episodes.
I seriously doubt that.
Fedra drove them underground 15 years ago.
How the did they manage that? And why can't the other Fedra districts replicate it?
It's not necessarily that they can't replicate it, it's more that they won't. I mean, we realize in this very episode that driving the infected underground was only temporarily effective and ended in complete disaster, so you're complaining about other places being smarter than this place.
You would be horrified by the things I've done. And if you've come to tell me that Michael wouldn't want me to hurt Henry, that he would want me to forgive, I know that too.
Just in case you saw Kathleen order the murder of a room full of prisoners and thought, maybe there's still some good in her. Here's her, I know I'm wrong and evil and I don't care speech.
Yes, because she's a villain. Thank you for explaining something that we already knew because we watched it. I don't know why you did that, it wasn't necessary in any way, but cool beans, I guess.
I can't remember a sniper this comically bad. Was he a stormtrooper in another life?
Oh boy. TVSins and CinemaSins love to complain about people having bad aim, but only because they have no actual idea whatsoever of how difficult it really is to hit a target with any kind of firearm. It's difficult enough to hit a still target in perfect daylight, let alone for an older man to hit moving targets in the dark. It would actually be more sinful if he did hit one of them. Let's also not forget that this point was more or less already made in an earlier episode, so it's not as if this scene requires you to have outside information either.
Anthony had known about Joel's crew for maybe 2 minutes at most, and to get from downtown Kansas City to that point would take long enough that they could escape across the river. Unless, of course, they move at Season 7 Gendry speed.
Slight correction here. Watching this scene in full and paying attention to the timestamps, Anthony knew about Joel and Henry's crew for at least 3 minutes, if not a little longer. Now, I did a little bit of simple research on this. I looked on Google Maps to see how long it would take to get from downtown KC to West Side North, the neighborhood where they popped out of the tunnels. According to Google Maps, it would take 5 to 6 minutes, but let's remember that this estimate is factoring in speed limits and traffic. In the apocalypse, with no traffic other than Kathleen's convoy and no speed limits to follow, they could almost certainly cut down that time by 2 or 3 minutes. Also, Discount Jeremy makes a Game of Thrones reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
Really is a testament to the Rigon Stark School of running away from things that their campus not only survived the apocalypse, but continued to graduate students all the same.
And that's 2 in a row. What are the odds?
This is what happens when you with fate.
I'm not sure that this happened to any character that with Dr. Fate. And I watched Justice League, Unlimited, Young Justice, and Black Adam.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop.
So you've killed and maimed and monologued your way through Kansas City. The man who betrayed your brother is right in front of you and your gun is drawn. Oh look, vengeance is at hand. But wait, that flaming truck just sank under the ground? That's weird, huh? I could shoot Henry and then turn, but nah, this deserves all of my attention.
Kathleen already knows the reason behind why certain parts of the ground are sinking, and that reason is because there are large hordes of infected underground. Her turning to face the significantly bigger and more pressing threat makes sense.
Leaving your chores undone. That will always come back to bite you eventually.
This is the same exact point he made in the last video. He's sinning the Kansas City people for not taking care of the infected underground immediately, which would have saved their lives. While he's correct about that, it's yet another example of him sinning something he agrees with, because that's exactly the point the show is making in this scene.
Didn't he just reload? It's nice of him to still run out of ammo for dramatic effect, though.
A standard AR-15 clip holds between 20 and 30 rounds. Now, it's possible that he didn't fill his magazine all the way, but I'm taking a sin back for this. It seems unlikely to me that an operative who has already been established as effective and good at his job would make a mistake like that. My point is that, watching the scene in full, he clearly does not fire 20 rounds, meaning that he either packed a low-capacity magazine or didn't fully load the clip, neither of which really fits his character.
How the hell did Kathleen make it across the entire chaos-filled battlefield unscathed? Just think of all the cars she must have had to hide behind.
She ran when Perry told her to run, which means that she was staying clear of the fighting for the most part. Can you just pay attention, please?
Someone so hellbent and focused on revenge that she literally sacrificed her entire city, she is very easily distracted from said revenge.
Of course, not actually playing the scene helps to deceive the audience into believing your point is valid. Kathleen yells "stop" at them and then seconds later gets attacked by an infected. Clearly, those couple of seconds can boil down to her psyching herself up to commit murder, including child murder.
Oh no, someone's being murdered by an infected. Let's stop and stare because the same thing hasn't been happening for the last 20 minutes.
It's called shock, Aaron. It's actually pretty damn realistic for them to be in a minor state of shock, seeing someone get brutally murdered right in front of them, especially considering none of them are hardened soldiers and 2 of them are children.
Look, I don't know exactly how I'm getting to Wyoming. I'm probably walking. But if you want to...
Yeah, I think it'd be nice for Sam to have a friend.
Let's touch and go there for a while.
Skip.
Thinking either of these kids is going to sleep after the horrors they've witnessed this evening.
Is this the 4th time this video where you've seen something you agree with? I mean, in this very scene, Ellie and Sam don't go to bed. They stay up and continue hanging out. The show never explicitly says this is because they're traumatized and don't want to go to sleep, but this is a great example of the showrunners trusting the audience to infer that on their own.
Well, that's a weird question for him to ask. Oh, no. I know you did not introduce this adorable and lovable character just to kill him off in a single episode, because that would be cruel and would prevent me from getting attached to any other characters for the length of the series. That's right. Your attempt to make me care has made me care less.
The show's goal was to get the audience to care about these characters and then murder them in order to drive home the point that this is an apocalypse and there's no such thing as safety. The show accomplished this goal, and yet you're sinning it. Why is it a bad thing for a show to accomplish what it wanted to accomplish?
So Joel and Henry foregoing a bite check after that huge battle seems like a big oversight that neither of them would have made.
I disagree that Henry wouldn't have made that mistake, but Joel definitely wouldn't have. Take another sin back.
His medicine.
Okay, whew. That's a relief. Ellie's immune. That's the whole point.
Skip.
Hey, no one is more eager to save Sam than me, but why is she cutting the palm? Of all the places to cut, you choose somewhere highly sensitive, often dirty, and that will take forever to heal? Maybe it looks dramatic on camera, but for once it'd be nice to see what common sense looks like.
Ellie is a child. Why are you expecting her to pick the most logical spot to cut? Let me repeat the first part so you can understand better. Ellie is a child.
All right, problem solved. You had me going there for a second, The Last of Us. Now, time for bed and more death-defying, harrowing adventures in the morning. Wait, why does Cindy keep adding sins instead of taking them away?
Promise.
Unkeepable promises. Oh, look at these two, best friends for life. Cannot wait to see the spin-off. Cindy, you are really confusing me. What the hell, man?
Hey.
Why didn't he say hey back?
We've got you outnumbered!
Outnumbered? Wait, 1, 2...